previously on Gamers Watch.
Probably get approval from Magnum, but I don't see that being a trouble, do you?
Just an off-brand chocolate lolly would be
Why can a chocolate ice
available? A reach around in the Solero, yeah.
Oh, man. And on that ever
Bukkake in a
classy,
bourbon biscuit.
for fuck's sake, keep on listening.
A finger and a flake.
A facial and a fruit pastel.
Oh my god. For fuck's sake. Oh, what else have we got?
Cunnilingus and a cornetto.
Oh my god. Come on, Duncan.
Can't say it.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Shit on your chest and some eating mess.
Oh no. That's where we have to end it. We can't carry on.
What?
We cannot carry on from there.
Oh,
Oh my god, we are
5 more
literally...
to go through still.
Oh my god, no, that's got to be
hell.
it. We are starting season 3
Oh.
exactly as we ended season 2.
Oh.
Basically, we spent the last 2 weeks just sat on Discord, just doing food, sex-related puns. And shit on the chest and an eaten mess wins. So congratulations, Duncan. Christ alive. Oh my god. Well, I think on that note, I think we should introduce the podcast. Hello and welcome to Season 3, Episode 1 of the Gamers Watch podcast. My name is Harry, and as always, I am joined by Shaun.
Hey.
And we have the Quim himself. Hello, Duncan.
Don't call me the Quim. What?
Sorry, the Quim Meister.
Oh,
Sorry.
I don't know. I've retired from that, I think, now. Hi, everyone.
All right. Hello.
Hi.
How is everyone doing? Has everyone enjoyed their time off from the podcast?
I've missed you both.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean,
I
you've
have-
not had much time off, have you,
I
Shaun?
was going to say, I haven't actually left the laptop. I played 3 levels of Ratchet and Clank, so my plan of completing
and
it went out the window.
the rest of it has been spent getting our YouTube together. And if you are listening to this on YouTube, don't forget to smash that like button and share this with a friend.
Hit that notification bell to be notified when Gamers Watch goes live.
Join
Yeah.
the notification squad.
Yeah, boy. Basically, just like subscribe to us and tell people about us and stuff. But yeah, that kicks us into the introduction as always. So if you like this podcast, and even if you don't, please do share it with a friend. Follow us on Twitter. We are at GamersWatchCrew. Leave us a review on your platform of choice if it allows you to. And obviously, we've already said subscribe to our Gamers Watch podcast on YouTube, and the link for that can be found in the bio. And we also just want to say a massive welcome to Connor from the previous episode, the Q&A episode, who is officially joining Gamers Watch as a video content creator and a guest of the podcast. So a massive congratulations to Connor for being brought into the fold of this amazing quadruplet that we are now. Shaun, shall we kick off with some Xbox news?
Yeah, let's get it underway.
Xbox news is brought to you by Midweek Mix-Up, and there are some new games coming to Game Pass this month, aren't there, Shaun?
Oh, there's a good handful of them.
There are, and there's a few good ones in there that I'm looking at as well. So what are we starting with?
We'll start with Surgeon Simulator 2, which will already be out by the time we actually air this. Comes out Thursday, and it will now be
September
Saturday.
the 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I played Surgeon Simulator 1 with the PlayStation VR, so I'll be interested to see what it's like playing it normally, just as a normal game. But yeah, looking forward to that. The other ones, though, I haven't heard of a single one of them, I must admit.
Really?
Yeah, there's one I recognise, but I don't know if it's I Am Fish. I kind of recognise the title, but I don't know if I'm just thinking of Phil Fish.
It could be that. So what have we got coming after Surgeon Simulator?
So we've got The Artful Escape coming to consoles on September 9th. Then Phil Fish coming to console and PC September 16th. Skatebird is also coming to console on September 16th. The following day, Origami 2, and then console and PC is Sable on September 23rd. Oh, 5 days later, on September 28th, is Lemniscate? Lemniscate?
That's the one.
Lemniscate on console, PC, and cloud. And then rounding it off on September 28th as well, just on console, is Astria Ascending. Not as many as I thought there'd be on cloud.
No, not a huge amount on cloud, with it only being the one.
Mm.
However, I'm looking forward to Surgeon Simulator, I'm looking forward to Skatebird, I'm looking forward to Aragami 2, and I'm looking forward to Lemniscate. They're all 4 games that I've had my eye on for the last couple of weeks. And obviously there's some indie games in there. And as always with Duncan being on the show, that means that this week we're going to have a segment of Duncan Voices, Indie Choices. And he has been playing a lovely little indie game called Islanders. We'll find out a little bit more about that later on today.
I love the way you said it.
I've got to do it. I've got to channel my inner
Get that
Alan
velvety voice.
Partridge.
On that list, The Artful Escape is my pick. There's so many bloody games to play at the minute. I can't keep up.
No, well, you shouldn't have dubbed yourself Duncan Voices Indie Choices, because now you've got to play all these fucking games.
I know, I've made a Twitter banner and everything for it now, so I've got to do it.
I know, I like that. It's good. You're fully into the fold now. You're fully induced into the cult of Gamers Watch.
It would just be really nice if developers replied to my DMs asking for free games, but they don't, so whatever. No fists for them.
The next bit of news, I'm so excited about it that I can barely contain myself.
You sound excited.
Xbox has partnered with the FA to become the official gaming partner. So, basically, the way I'm reading that is that Declan Rice has just got a free Xbox. Like,
It reminds me of like proper American sports where it'll be like Chicago Fire Brigade, the official fire brigade of the NFL. It's like, what?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah. Chicago Town Pizza, the official pizza of the New York Jets. Like, I just don't get it. Like, whatever. Xbox and the FA, so they're going to make like a special edition Xbox England kit.
I want
like
it. I want
whatever
the official ball now for the Premier League to be like the Xbox logo, and then if someone scores a goal and it's like ruled out by VAR, it does like a little red ring thing through the actual ball.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I want from it.
I literally couldn't give a fuck. This news broke and I was like, okay. And then I looked on the tweet and everyone was like, this is amazing. I'm so happy about this. It's a nothingness partner. I don't get it. I don't get it. There's something else I don't get as well. Shaun, Duncan, very quickly, what platform is Starfield going to be releasing on?
Sega Mega Drive.
Yes. Yeah. So Aaron Greenberg, again, for pretty much the 7,000th time, has had to remind people that Starfield is not coming to PlayStation. I saw a Forbes article today saying, how many more ways can Xbox tell people that Starfield is not coming to PlayStation? I don't get it. Did any of you read the article that was posted about this at all?
No, I heard about it and saw many people talking about it, but I didn't actually read the article myself.
It was one person at Bethesda who said that they are committed to continuing their multi-platform games when they already have contracts signed. So, like, that was it. That was literally all it was. And the guy was saying, like, you can play your Bethesda games wherever there is an Xbox platform available. Like, that's it. How many more times do we have to tell you, old man? I don't get it.
No.
They literally came out at E3 and they were like, Starfield is Xbox exclusive. And within 10 minutes, Metro had put an article out saying, will Starfield come to PlayStation? No!
You know this will go on until even after release of Starfield. There'll be articles that say, like, maybe it's a timed exclusive.
They're already saying that. People are saying that Xbox have only said that it's launching on Xbox. And then Aaron Greenberg was like, no, it's launching on Xbox and then staying only on Xbox. Like, that's the deal. Bethesda games are only on Xbox. Like, that's the caveat. They spent as much money as the GDP of Liberia, right, to buy Bethesda. The reason they bought Bethesda is to bring games to their platform. How many more times do they have to say it? I don't get it. But yeah, that pissed me off.
You stayed relatively calm compared to other rants, I must admit.
I was a little bit I could feel the juice flowing a bit. And I thought, it's a new season. It's a new me. And all of the new people that are listening to our podcast.
I heard that little chuckle.
It's just me screaming for the first 20 minutes of the season 3, episode 1 podcast. They probably won't tune in again. So, nah, man, I'm cool. Whatever, dude. Like, yeah, man.
Episode just opens up with you screaming, get a fucking life.
Yes, it will. Yeah, Bethesda games aren't coming to PlayStation. So that is the end of that. Should we move on to Game in 60 Seconds? I fucking got it right this week.
Oh yeah, I forgot you kept calling it Game Pass or Play. I feel like we have to explain what Game in 60 Seconds is, though, to people that are now watching us on YouTube that have never seen us before.
Okay. Shaun, do you want to explain what Game in 60 Seconds is?
Okay, so Game in 60 Seconds is where we try and describe a game in under 60 seconds, and they're so bad that it usually takes about 5 seconds maximum. And we have someone called... Oh, we can't bleep him now. Called
Yay.
And so...
Hello.
Which is wife of... And they basically get it within 2 seconds, I'd say, of listening to the podcast each time.
Pretty much.
And it pisses me off.
Yeah.
I spend more time
every week
thinking of a game in 60 seconds than they fucking spend solving it.
Yeah, pretty much every week. They're like, oh, it's this game, and this is how you got to that. So it's very annoying.
It does feel good when we stump them.
Yeah, that is like once every 10 weeks we come up with one that is just so asinine and so stupid that they can't get it. So Shaun, what was your clue last week? Was it last? Yeah, it was last week.
Yeah, we still done one in the Q&A. My clue was, I hear the town of U has started a football club.
See, as soon as you said it, I thought of a better clue for that.
Oh, okay, cheers then.
Those female sheeps love playing football.
Yeah, but
what was the game,
but
Shaun?
sheep don't play football, do they?
No, but there's no place called U.
There probably is. It'll be in Scotland somewhere.
So, what was that game, Shaun?
That game was UFC.
Absolute shit.
UFC.
Absolute shit. Speaking of absolute shit, my clue, the first one I fucked up royally. I was supposed to say nuts made of straw, and it was going to be Hades, but I had to change it at the last minute because I basically gave the game away. And so my one was don't do that in those little boots, and that's Quake, because you're quaking in your little boots.
Yeah, it took me a while to get it, I must admit.
I'm very sorry to all the people who are tuning in for the first time.
Who are now
this is the shit that you have to put up with. Yeah. I can guarantee you if we look at the analytics, this will be the drop-off point right now. Just 100% of the people all clicked off at the same time. So, I don't have a very good clue this week. And so, Shaun and Duncan, you are taking over the mantle this week.
Okay.
So
I'll let Duncan go first.
We'll start with Duncan. Duncan, what's your clue this week?
Dave Benson Phillips loves to go down to his basement.
I think I know that. I think I know what that is.
It's so niche.
Is it?
No. But I like your
I was
thinking.
thinking because Dave Benson Phillips and... Oh, I've got it!
You know what it is.
Oh my god, okay, I'm going to have to bleep it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good one, that. I was proud of that one.
Yeah, boom. I like that. I'll have to bleep that, but that's a very good one, Duncan. Shaun,
Yeah.
what is your clue?
Mine is a very special one to commemorate this first episode of video content. Mine's a picture.
Okay.
And
What?
Yep, it's a picture. And if you two want to have your Discords up, I'll send it now so you can
Yeah,
see it
but
as well.
Shaun,
Yeah, but you can
there
describe.
are people
You can
that
describe
listen
it.
to this.
Well,
all right.
the people that are listening the old-fashioned way can get with the times.
No, Shaun, because the easiest way for me to do my weekly metrics is through the audio side of this.
Well, we'll have one audio, one video each week.
Oh, for fuck's
So-
sake. Right, okay.
So the picture will be. It is literally the picture is the clue for what the game title is,
Right.
and the picture will be appearing on people's screens right about now.
What the fuck is that? What is... Okay. So, I'm going to describe the monstrosity that is in front of me. Shaun, did you create this? Did you create this, Shaun?
Yeah, this is my own creation.
Right. Firstly, this is amazing. But secondly, this is utterly horrifying. So what I'm looking at is a really big fat man, but his head has been replaced with a burger, and the burger is eating the person. Basically, it's the Beast from The Chase, whose head is on a cocktail stick, and the head of the person is replaced with a burger.
Oh,
This doesn't make sense.
it does.
Right, Shaun,
Yeah.
tell me what this game is right now.
Okay. It's
For fuck's sake.
also.
That's brilliant.
Have you noticed the little face that's in the burger on the plate as well?
Is that me?
No, it's the same face, but I just popped one in a burger bun as well.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, Shaun, that is both genius and horrific at the same time. And we will have to put this on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I'll
This is-
do like a GIF with text for Duncan's one as well, and then this picture.
That is disgusting.
It's a work of art.
We have to put that on a shirt, right? That has to go on a shirt with like a really artisanal frame around it. That's horrific.
The game in 60
Well,
seconds range.
If there's anybody that is not listening to this on YouTube, please count yourself lucky, because this is terrifying.
Brilliant.
I don't know where to go from there. I think we just got to move on.
I think you've peaked on that.
Yeah, we're done. I think we can call the podcast quits. That's it. Thank you for listening and tuning in. We're done.
Video content went well.
Wow. That's horrific. Yeah, fuck it. Let's move on. Let's just move on. We've got 2 games to talk about this episode. And the first game that we'll talk about is 12 Minutes. And the second game that we'll talk about is Psychonauts 2. Spoiler alert? Should we do a spoiler alert for this?
I think we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Shaun, you can do chapters on YouTube, can't you?
I can break it down.
Lovely. So if you are listening to this on YouTube and you want to skip this 12 minutes review, because it is going to be quite spoiler heavy, just click on the next chapter. If you're listening to this on an audio device, fuck it. Just put up with it, mate.
Get with the times.
Get with the times. That's not going to be a new catchphrase, is it, Shaun?
Depends how many things I think of that don't work on audio-only stuff.
I mean, so far you've thought of quite a lot, so congratulations.
Thanks.
Shaun, I'm going to let you start with your thoughts on 12 minutes, talk through the mechanics and sort of how you felt the story progressed, and then we'll move on to Duncan, and then we'll just move on to me at the end. All right?
Okay, so 12 minutes, the basic premise is that you arrive home to your apartment to have dinner with your wife, and then about 5-6 minutes in, a cop breaks down your door and basically can either arrest you, kill your wife, etc., and then you reset back to as you've just got into the apartment. So you're stuck in a 12-minute time loop, and it's up to you to solve what's happening, why it's happening, and then break the loop, essentially. I'm a sucker for the terrible time loop sort of stories you can find on Netflix and that. And so I was always bound to like this. I did really enjoy it. I thought the puzzles were good. There was a few people that I saw saying that the puzzles weren't obvious in any way, but I either just got lucky or managed to figure them out somehow. But I thought they were really well designed, how they were like placed in the gameplay, and obviously going through each loop, you sort of keep picking up on these little hints and that. So they didn't need like a hint system or anything. The one thing I would say is if you try and brute force a certain approach, you might get a bit frustrated. So there was one time where I was determined to think that the approach I was taking was like basically on the right tracks, like I would get to the end doing this approach. It turned out to be completely wrong, but obviously because I was trying to brute force that way instead of trying something else for a few loops, I was just stuck basically in the same place. But once I did go, oh fuck it, I'm just going to try this, there was another clue that I ended up finding, and it just took me on a completely different path. The story I really liked. I was expecting some twists, sort of like Twilight Zone Inside Number 9 sort of stories, because it is like it could also almost be part of like an anthology, the story and the game itself. The only thing I didn't expect it to go as dark as it did with the twists.
I think we need to talk about this right now.
Okay.
So, very big spoiler alert. The twist of the game is that you're fucking your sister and that everything that's happening is in your own mind and the cop is your dad and you're being hypnotised to not want to carry on having a relationship with her because you've got her pregnant.
Yeah,
it is fucking stupid.
It's basically... I'm trying to remember the order that like different twists happen. So the first twist is that your wife's being arrested for murder, and then the second like little twist is that it's for murdering her dad, and then you sort of find evidence basically that proves her innocence, and you find out that it's actually her brother who isn't... It's like her half-brother because her dad had an affair with the nanny, and you find out that it's the brother that killed dad, and then you find out that you're that brother. So you've been in a relationship with your sister and you've also got her pregnant. So I wasn't expecting it to be that dark, the story.
Imagine M. Night Shyamalan railed 7 lines of coke, right? That is the story of this game.
The thing is,
pathetically bad.
I didn't mind those twists, like being dark in that. The thing I do really hate though is the explanation of how the loop is happening. Like the whole, basically
it's all a dream.
Yeah, the lazy. It's all a dream.
It's so fucking lazy.
Like just commit to the fact you've put incest in your game. Have that as like it's happened, it's done, it's dark, but it's happened.
Sorry, Shaun.
But
please say that sentence again.
I said commit to the fact that you put incest in your story.
Okay, yeah, just wanted to make sure that's what you said.
Because it's just like, because it just feels like they're like, oh, we'll do this, will be really dark and edgy, and then they've done the typical didn't actually happen though, did it? Sort of thing at the end. So I hate the explanation of the time loop. I would have rather it have been a genuine time loop and like you find a way to break the loop somehow, rather than it just ended up...
Yeah, you fuck your dad instead.
Rather than it just ended up being all in your head and it never actually happened, because I think, if I remember right, it's set in the past, the explanation. So like when it shows that you're being hypnotized
or something.
Yeah, so it's when in his head when the dad died, that's when he's actually hypnotizing you. So the whole relationship with the sister hasn't actually happened in the slightest. It's just the dad has found out that he likes his sister without knowing that it's his sister, sort of thing. So he stops it by hypnotizing you.
See, I didn't get any of that. I know that I said that Duncan was going to come next. I feel that my review of this game is going to be very quick. It's shit. I hated the story from the very first second. The voice acting felt stale to me. Everyone's going on about how great the voice acting is. There were times where I was just stuck in conversations that made no sense, and the conversations just didn't flow naturally.
On the voice acting, if you didn't know it was James McAvoy, Willem Dafoe and Daisy Ridley, would you have known who it was?
I didn't know that it was James McAvoy or Daisy Ridley.
No.
Until I remembered that they were in it. I knew it was Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe you can kind of get.
I feel like a lot of the positives for this game are just because those 3 famous people are in it. Taken in isolation, the puzzle mechanics are not good. A good puzzle leads you in a direction, and by doing that, you then solve a puzzle. What a good puzzle doesn't do is make you keep repeating the same 5 steps over and over and over again for 2 hours, and then make you just do something completely different that it literally doesn't tell you how to do. So I got to a point where I was so walk in the door, grab the mugs, knock on the door, get the wife out, open the front door, turn the light switch on, turn the light switch off, go into the bathroom, shut the door, open the medicine cabinet, put the sleeping pills in the drink, put the water in the sleeping pills. With the sleeping pills, go out, give your wife the sleeping pills, make her go to bed. So the first 4 minutes of every single run by halfway through the game were exactly the same. However, what it didn't tell me to do is that when I then have the police officer on the floor and I've handcuffed him, is that I have to keep him, I have to keep the gun, and I have to keep the knife, and I have to keep this and that on his body so that he can escape, so that he can tell me something, so that he can then kill me so I can start again. And then, out of nowhere, instead of doing all of that first step and putting the wife to sleep, because then you just get stuck in this endless loop that I was stuck in for about an hour and a half. You have to just completely go against everything you've been doing for the last 2 or 3 hours and just have a conversation with your wife and then pick random points that don't link together in any way in order to just arbitrarily open this new path for the game to go down. So the puzzles weren't good because there was literally no clue to how to progress the game forward from a certain point.
You see, the clue...
And the twists were shit. I'm sorry, but the twist of the incest was pathetically bad. And then saying, oh, it's all a dream. I put that game down and all I could think about was just how utterly stupid it was.
The clue for when the guy's on the floor, if you take his stuff, he'd obviously says about giving stuff back, so you'll naturally try it by giving him his stuff back, and then he'll get up. I think he headbutts you, if I remember right, if you don't untie him. And your guy says about needing to get someone that he'll listen to. So when you go through him again, you look at his phone.
You have to call the daughter.
And it's his daughter, yeah.
I didn't realise that the wife's phone was in the cupboard up until about 4 hours of playing the game, and Paul, our listener, telling me, oh, you need to dial the daughter's number in the wife's phone. And I was like, what fucking phone are you talking about?
So basically you just didn't search the game world. Because I found the phone in the third try, I think, because
it took me about 4 hours to find it.
The first
it got to
varied
a point.
approach I done was hide in the closet before she realizes I'm home, because there's like a half minute before she notices that you're home. So I thought, I'll hide in the closet and I'll just see what the conversation between her and the cop is. And then I found the phone then, and then heard about her being arrested for murder and that's how I found that and went off on a different approach from there.
No, I just don't think that any of the puzzles fit in any logical way, and it got to a point where you just had to completely pivot 180 and the game gave you no idea that you had to do it, and if you didn't do the one exactly very precise thing at the right moment, then you would just be stuck in a loop. And everyone that I've spoken to that has had issues of being stuck in this part of a game have all been stuck in the same part that I was. There are so many people who have said that they got to this certain point in the game where you keep getting the cop on the floor and then they just don't know what to do, and they do what I do and they uninstall the game. I reinstalled it because I had to finish it, because I feel like I have to finish at least one game for this fucking podcast. But for me, it just felt like they'd watched one too many M. Night Shyamalan films, and also I fucking hated the point and click with a controller. Just let me walk the guy around the apartment. I hated it. The amount of times I would click the wrong shit, or I think I drank sleeping pills myself about 8 times. Just didn't enjoy it at all. It was an utter chore to play it. For me, it's a Game Pass completely. I just don't understand the love that this game is getting. I don't get it.
I started off really enjoying it, and I was really into the story, and I kind of twigged. I got it up to the point where you can knock the copper out, tie him up, shoot with the leg or whatever. And then I just kept doing the same thing over and over again. And I thought, okay, well, eventually worked out the cupboard and how to get the stopwatch out. And I thought, okay, well, he wants a stopwatch. I'll get it out for him. Left it on the table. He came in, tied me up, killed me. And I'm just like, well, how many more fucking times have I got to repeat these fucking steps? Because there's no indication of what the end goal was. And I do like games that have some kind of overarching story, which I think this game tries to be. So you've got The Last of Us is all about the futility of violence, Spiritfarer, the acceptance of death. Braid is about how you view yourself. Well, what's the story with this? Don't fuck your sister. Is that the story we're getting out of it? And it's like that typical. It's like the Ricky Gervais skit where he says, "What's the moral of the story to Humpty Dumpty? If you're an egg, don't sit on a wall." Yeah. The moral story of 12 minutes is don't commit incest. And by the end of it, I hated it. I really was so relieved to finish it, because I had to look at a guide once I did it just to see what the fuck it was all about, and just to look at the achievements, because I only had about 2 or 3. And there were so many points where I could have racked off 80% of them, but I didn't do the one tiny thing that I should have done, just to get an achievement. No, I didn't. I kind of banished it to fucking memory now. I found it just so fucking pretentious by the end. And then I think I got the ending where you say, all right, I won't shag her, Dad, and then you go into the apartment on your own. And it's completely empty. Went and got the stopwatch, and then you're supposed to change the handle to the clock hand to like a certain time. But there's an audio cue that basically gives you the wrong time to set it to. So I thought, okay, well I'll set it to midday or whatever, because that's when the audio cue is kind of crescendoing. But then that wasn't the right thing, so I had to change the time again. Wait a whole fucking minute for it to do it again, and in the end it was like 2 minutes prior, and I can't remember any point in the game where that was signalled that it's 2 minutes to. Maybe it was and I missed it, but I just found it so pretentious, and I hated it by the end. It's too rigid. Like there's no kind of fluidity in like the puzzle solving, because it was like, if you don't do this exact thing, you're not going to progress at all. And I really lucked out at the end when I think I never got to the point where I had to let the leave stuff on the cop. I think I shot him in the leg, and then I just twigged. I was like, okay, well I've got the baby clothes, and that's how you know it's the Dahlia name. But I just felt like I lucked out in the end. I didn't feel like it was any brain power that went into it. I was just really fed up by the end of it.
I didn't get the Dahlia clue whatsoever. I had to look that up in a guide, because I had to finish the game. I had to use a guide because I was at this point where I literally just couldn't progress. And I know this sounds really stupid. There's one thing that really pissed me off about the game, right? So I was in maybe the second loop. No, sorry, I was maybe in like the second loop of the cop coming in, and you're like, oh, my wife's innocent, here's a picture, blah, 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 blah. And then I had the baby grow in my hands, and then the wife says, I'm pregnant. And then my character's like, oh, really? It's like, mate, I'm like 5 hours into this loop by now. Like, you obviously know that she's pregnant because I've just gone into the fucking dressing room counter, picked up the baby grow, bought it in, opened it and said, look, we're naming the baby Dahlia. And then the wife's like, oh shit, yeah, I'm pregnant. And then James McAvoy was like, oh my god, my wife's pregnant. Like, it was...
So this is why I don't know if I just got lucky with like every puzzle.
You did.
Because the baby clothes, like you said, was the thing I used to prove that I was in a time loop to her near the start. So then when the cop said about, oh, the nanny was it was named after a flower, and then he says like a few wrong names, but they all start with D. That's why I was like, oh, I have to give him the baby clothes because it's got a massive flower printed on it and the name Dahlia sort of thing. So I don't know if I just found like each clue before it's set up to be used sort of thing, just from choosing different approaches in the right order sort of thing.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of luck that you got, because I remember getting to a point where Paul was like, you need to use the picture of the wife to convince the cop that she was there on New Year's Eve or whatever, and I'd just show him the picture and he'd go, huh, cute picture. It's like, well, no, like the character's just said, this picture, oh look, it's dated the 24th of December. I can use this to prove that she's innocent. And then you show him the picture and just go, look at this picture. Oh, that's cute. And then it just ends. And you can't be like, nah, dickhead, read the date at the bottom.
Yeah, that's like, the next line for me was insist on showing him the picture sort of thing. And
that never came up for me once.
I think
that insist thing never once came up for me.
There was a bit where I thought, okay, well, my character knows everything now, so I'll just play out the original loop. So where I come in and I get tied up on the floor, and I'm clicking on the cop, and all he's going is like, sir, and I'm like, well, you know everything, mate. So just fucking just say it, you daft cunt. But no, I mean that's the thing that frustrates me, is that it's just so you have to do the thing in the exact order to figure it out.
And I tell you what, if I ever have to put sleeping pills in another fucking mug again in my life, I'm going to go spare. I'm done talking about 12 minutes. And that means, basically, if I'm done with it, it means we move on. And that's how this goes. Because I really want to listen to you two talk about Psychonauts 2, because I haven't played a lot of it. And
a lot of it, or any of it?
I played about 3 or 4 hours of it, so I've not played much. However, I'm not going to be involved in this chat. Shaun, how are you enjoying Psychonauts 2?
It is not only game of the year for me. It is one of my favorite games of all time. It is the pinnacle of platformers because it manages to keep the like sort of cartoony, whimsy humor of like most platformers, but also the story. I don't want to spoil because I want people to just fully play it themselves. But the story, the characters, and some of the like backstory that's subtly told in the story is just amazing. And like loads of people have already said, the amount of things it goes into for like mental health and that is insane. It's just masterfully crafted in every way, from art style to story to soundtrack. Just everything about it. Level designs are stunning. I've never seen so much variety in a game with each level, because obviously the levels take place inside different characters' minds, so they're sort of a reflection of what makes that character them. But so the first level is inside a dentist's mind, so there's teeth everywhere. If you've got a phobia of teeth somehow, then you might want to rush through that one.
And it says, it warns you about that before. The thing says, it's like dentophobia, and it says if you've got this, just FYI, might get a bit creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and the accessibility sort of options as well. There's so many different ones, and there's even, I think, a few of them pop up before you can even go into the main menu to start the game. But they've thought of everything Double Fine with this game, and it's just such a joy to play through. And it doesn't. There was like one point where it's quite far in, and it basically does the whole, are you sure you want to continue now because you can't come back here for a little while? So at that point I was like, oh, I must be near the end of the story then. And I was still happy with the story at that point, but I was like, it kind of didn't feel like too much happened. And I think I was probably about halfway through the game at that point in the end, because it just,
that's exactly where I am.
It just opens up
to
yeah, just opens up to a whole nother like hub area after, and so many more levels. But it's just play it. It's perfect.
Yeah, I completely agree with Shaun. It's game of the year, easy. Like nothing comes close for me. It's a game that, like Double Fine, have just been let loose, and they've not been told by publishers to include this certain thing. I love it so much, and I think we were chatting on Twitter about it, Shaun, and I said, well, every time I play it, I'm smiling at something. I love how the character feels like part of the world. I find it really hard to put my finger on, because I play quite a lot of like platformers, but I never feel like the character like belongs there. It's such a wanky thing to say, but with Psychonauts too, just I don't know, the world like feels a lot like there, and I've just done the. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I've just done the level with the band. I don't want to say any more than that. And my mind was fucking blown of just how amazing it was. I just the music is incredible. I forget the bloody name of it now. It's kind of like the foresty area where you go out outside of the car park, and I spent ages in that bit, just not doing anything, just because I loved the music and I just loved the character Raz just knocking about in this world. There's not I can't fault it at all. It's one of the very best video games ever made. And it's there's no argument. If someone says, oh, it's shit, they're fucking lying, because it's unbelievable. I haven't played like obviously the latest Ratchet and Clank, but I've played previous ones, and I feel like with those, they look amazing, but I feel like there's just lots of detail for the sake of it, just to make it, oh look, we've got all these things flying about the screen. But it just feels like every single thing in Psychonauts 2 has been put there for a reason. And I just love all like the ways it kind of dials back into mental health related things, like not even mental health things, like you have like the emotional baggage knocking around the level. You collect half a mind to like get more health. It's unbelievable how good it is, and I'm really happy to hear I'm only halfway through, because I could just play it forever.
You've got quite a way to go still.
and I feel like I've played it for fucking donkeys as well.
Yeah.
But
Go on.
And I was going to say, like, I think you said it a couple of days ago when you 100%ed it. Usually, when I'm done with the game, I'm like, I'm done now. Uninstall, see you later. But I know that once I've completed it, I'm going to go back into the conscious, unconscious, or something like that.
Yeah.
And just go back and just get all the missing bits. Just because of what I just want to spend as long as possible playing it. Superb.
Yeah, there was you'll know what I was on about then, because I didn't know if you'd played that level yet. But
it's funny that's where I've stopped playing today before I came on the pod.
Did you
where it says,
finish the level?
Do you want to carry on?
The band level.
I finished. Yeah, and then it says, do you want to carry on? And I've stopped there.
Okay, so yeah, the band level was the main thing I was thinking of when I was saying about how it addresses some things but subtly. So the character that the band level focuses on, without again giving spoilers, there's a certain trait that so far when other games have tried to tackle it, it's like basically that is their character. They're built around that rather than that just being a part of their character. And Psychonauts 2 normalizes it so well, and it's just the ending to that to the band level, and when you like find out more about this character, is just perfectly done.
And it's just and it's not made a big deal out of at all.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's just a nice thing.
Yeah, it's just that's part of that character, not that that is what that character is, sort of thing.
Yeah, that doesn't define who they are.
Yeah.
I've obviously not played it to this point. This might be one of the reasons why Schitt's Creek is my favourite TV show of all time.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. But I even the mental health aspect of that character, how the power that you get to fight it, like, makes sense in the real world. So it doesn't give away, but it's basically like panic attacks. I don't have them, but I know kind of one of the things to deal with it is taking deep breaths and slowing things down. And that's how you're meant to fight it in the game. It's just unbelievable. I don't know how any game can top it.
So it's a gameplay then?
Oh,
it's just about, yeah.
It is, like Duncan said, it's one of the most well put together games of all time in every aspect.
That is quite the statement
the
to make.
one other thing that I just want to say as well with the level designs, I've seen a few people say that they're disappointed that the side missions aren't more fleshed out. So basically, all the side missions are pretty much collectathon structures, so you just have to go about find different items, but the hub worlds are so well put together that it doesn't feel like a chore where it does in other games. So like you'll see one of the items somewhere in the distance and you'll be like, how the hell do I get to that? And you'll just happily spend half an hour trying and failing different like approaches to get to it. And I saw someone say about, I can't remember, it might have been Archimedes, say that Double Fine would be the perfect people to make a Banjo-Kazooie game now. I completely agree with after going through the side missions.
I think that's as good a place as any to leave it, isn't it?
I just want to play it again.
Slightly better than a mouthful of nails.
Shaun.
Yes.
What are we going to be playing next week?
Next week we are playing the remake of Myst.
I'm excited for that because I've never played
I've never played Myst, surprisingly.
Unmake.
The unmake, the original.
Yeah, I don't know. Duncan, as
time.
You're here today, it's that time, and you know what I'm about to do, don't you?
Do it.
Cheesy radio voice. So, this week on Duncan Voices Indie Choices, Duncan has played a little indie title called Islanders. Will this game get the fist of approval all the way down to the elbow, or just a little tickle at the pinky finger? Let's find out. So, Duncan, you've been playing Islanders. What the fuck is Islanders?
I don't even know how I spotted it, but it's a minimalist city builder, and I don't like saying it, but it's a bit like a rogue. Excuse me, got a cough. It's a bit like a roguelike. So
Game Pass from Shaun.
Instantly.
I mean, just
1 out of 10, not Hades.
It's not a Game Pass game, but it's £4. So.
So it's negligible.
I'm trying to buy more indie games to try and support indie devs.
Man of the people.
So it's not unlike Hades in the sense where every run you do will be different. So at the start of each level, you get given a random island, and you're given, I say powers, you're given buildings to choose to pop on that island, and you get points for it. So for example, you might get a city centre or a lumberjack, for example. And if you've got loads of trees on the island, you'll plonk the lumberjack down, and depending on how many trees are close to it, you'll get X amount of points. But then you can't. It's not like you can just plonk loads of shit down and then you're done. So for example, you might put down a city centre, put loads of houses and mansions around it, but then you'll get a park, plonk that in the middle, and it almost works like a bit like a multiplier, and you get loads of points. And when you hit like a certain amount of points, you have like a little island bar that you fill up, and then once you've hit that, you can move on to the next one, or you can carry on and staying on the level you are. But it's effectively like a big high score game. So I think I got up to like the in the top 100 of players on Xbox. But so like whereas Hades is probably like the equivalent of someone smashing down a 4-pack of Monster, screaming at the TV with your gnashing teeth and an erection, sweaty men doing angry hugs. Island is almost like the feeling of when you've done all your chores, you pop your favourite slippers on, and you've got a couple of episodes of The Joy of Painting with Bob Ross and a cup of tea. It's just that perfect kind of Sunday evening or morning, super chilled out game. It's really relaxing. I think games are pretty short. It's maybe kind of like 20 minutes, half an hour. But I got so addicted to it when it first came out, because I think it came out the same day as Psychonauts, and over the first few days I played that more than I did Psychonauts. But it's really, really lovely. It can be quite tricky. So the islands you get at the beginning are quite small, so you have to really think about where you're going to put everything. It's like, okay, well, I might get like a little fishing building, for example, but I can't have that too close to a lobster farm, for example. So you have to really think about it. And then as you go along, your islands get bigger, and you can put farms down, etc. It's lovely. Really simple little game. Did you ever see a game Bad North that was on Game Pass a while ago?
Yes, I did.
It looks very similar to that. Just you plonking down buildings rather than Vikings. But yeah, it's £4. I don't know if I'd be so bold as to say I'd shove it up to the elbow. But I would definitely recommend it. Give it a little slap, because it doesn't need any pomp and circumstance. It doesn't need a big old shouty.
I'm sorry, but I've just had a perfect idea. Sean, okay. This might take a bit of editing to do.
Right.
Duncan's scale, you're going to have to draw an arm.
Yeah, I was going to.
And you know how when it's like those PBS call-a-thons and they're like filling up the like thermometer, the scale will be how far up from the fingertips up to the elbow does the game go. So, Duncan, I'm going to put the slap noise in.
Do you want me to take a picture of my arm?
I need to know where on the arm from fingertip to elbow does it go?
See, it's difficult.
Knuckle?
So I'll probably say just the tip. That's not to say it's not as good as Hades, for example. They're just very different games, you see. So Hades is your let's get your heart rate up. Just have a nice little game. It's like reading a book before bed. Just lovely little relaxed.
Sean, can you do me a favour? When you do this, when you colour in the hand, can you just colour in the index and the middle finger, please?
What, brown?
Yes.
Disgusting.
No, the pinky will be brown. Okay. So it gets the little slap of approval, but it also gets a little cheeky finger at the same time.
The shocker.
Is that a fair assessment? It gets a shocker. It gets the Duncan voice shocker of approval.
I I wouldn't be unhappy with that.
Well, we're back to our normal content. We are going to end today's podcast on a very quick question, and we're going to throw this out to all of our listeners as well. So if you would like to DM us your answer, it's at Gamers Watch Crew.
Or
send us a message with your answer, or
answer it on
leave a
Community
comment.
Day next day.
Oh shit, yeah, could be, answer it on Community Day, or leave a comment in the YouTube video.
Yeah.
And don't forget to smash that like button. The question that we're going to put forward to you today is, China has just put laws in place that will ban anybody under the age of 19 from playing video games for more than 3 hours a week. If that was the case and you could only play one game a week for 3 hours, what would it be? Shaun, Duncan, I think I know what game it would be.
What, for me?
Yeah, well, for both of you, Psychonauts 2.
Oh, you're forgetting about a certain gem, Harry.
Oh, Crash Bandicoot.
No, I was going to say Psychonauts 2.
Dunks, what about yourself?
Pro Evolution Soccer 6.
Oh, that is a shout and a half.
Especially now, God bless, Pro Evolution Soccer doesn't exist anymore.
No, it doesn't.
Fuck you, Konami.
eFootball.
I'm going to say Bop It.
What?
What, the actual physical thing you hold in your hand?
Yeah, just the physical in your hand
wank
bopping machine.
I don't think China's banned them.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Well,
the government's
if
not going to smash someone's kid's door down if they've bopped, twisted, and pulled it for more than 3 hours on a Friday night.
If not Bop It, then...
Sorry, I heard that in my head then. That did not sound right.
Yeah, I was trying to keep a straight face for that as well. If not Bop It is not something I thought I'd say today in the podcast. No, my actual genuine real answer would be, oh my god, Pokemon Snap, the original. Yeah, bit of Pokemon Snap would be my game of choice, because I could play the absolute arsehole off that game.
Isn't that also completable in under 3 hours?
Yeah, but I just keep playing it over and over again. That's what I used to do as a child, Shaun. And I'm basically still a child, so yeah, bit of Pokemon Snap.
Fair enough.
Well, that's the end of Season 3, Episode 1.
First video content episode done.
And you all get to see the heinous abomination that Shaun has created.
That's
Just put it back up on the screen now, Shaun.
okay. It's it's on there. I'm looking at it as well.
So am I, Shaun. So am I. Duncan, again.
How am I going to top
just want
that?
to say, mate, no fucking idea. Absolutely no clue. But you've set yourself a precedent now. You've made your bed. You've got a fucking lie in it,
cannot
mate.
stop looking at it.
It's amazing.
It's hypnotic.
It's gonna be in your dreams tonight.
You're going to wake up in the middle of the night. Oh my god. What's wrong? What's wrong, Duncan? A burger man was eating me. Oh, Christ, Duncan, thank you so much for joining us in this, which is our first video content podcast. Thank you for coming along, being witness to this abomination that is in front of us right now. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that's all right.
Also, a massive shout out to the General C, who will be, I'm sure, on a podcast soon. And as always, if you did enjoy this show, please do share it with a friend. Follow us on Twitter at GamersWatchCrew. Review us on your platform of choice. Subscribe to us on YouTube and smash that like button. And as always, keep on listening.
And keep on gaming.
Shaun, that picture is fucking hideous. I cannot.
I
get
love
over
it. Perfect.
It's a